everybody. Welcome to my garden again. I'd like to introduce my daughter, Jade.
Hello.
She's going to help me put the garden to bed today. So what that means is when you put your garden to bed, it's preparing it for the next season, actually. So we're going to pull out all the plants that would not come back again next year. We're going to break any material down that we're going to compost and trim any bushes that need some taming so that they can then go dormant. So I'm gonna have Jade help me out with a couple of things, and then we'll send her back in and then work on a couple of more things here in the garden. So first, you always make sure you have the right tools. So for today's job, for the harvesting, we've already cleaned and sanitized our tub trucks here. So I have a large one for some of the larger crops that we're gonna harvest, and then some smaller ones for our small herbs and fruiting crops. And then I never shall harvest the garden without my bag. So this is my bag here that has all of my tools in it, my gloves, my cleaning supplies, harvesting materials. Just make sure you have, it doesn't have to be as intense and overly organized as mine, but make sure you always have what you need at hand so you don't have to keep running in and out of the house to get what you need. So we turned off the water about a week or so ago. So the garden has not been actively watered every day, just to get the crops to slow down and start to break down. I didn't want the water to freeze and then cause frostbite on my still very healthy crops that are left in the garden. So we turned that off, and the garden is actually, the soil is really moist. If you look here, let me get a swirl really quickly. The soil here is really moist still, even though it hasn't been watered actively every day. I mean, we've been just getting the precipitation that's been coming from nature. But you can also see while we're here in this bed that the basil has pretty much died back. This was lettuce that's gone to seed. I'm not really into seed saving. I just don't have the capacity or the time to do that. So we're gonna be removing these crops, the tomato crops, even though we have one little tomato that ended up coming up at the last minute. So we got a couple little tomatoes, so we may leave that plant in just to see what it does. But yeah, we're going to be removing that. And then over here, the Toscano kale that has not been harvested will be harvested. You can see here I still got zucchini squash coming in, and a couple of zucchini that grew but then got fruit end rot. So if you see here, we still have squash blossoms coming in, and then here was a zucchini that got fruit end rot there, but I didn't get many zucchinis. And it looks like I have another fruit coming in right there too, actually. So now they want to start growing. So we may leave this in and just cut it back and see how it does. So we may not fully put it to bed today. We just might get a little bit done. And then over here, Jade's gonna help me pick off all the peppers. We do have a couple still fruiting, flowering over here, so we'll leave those in just to see what they do for the next week or so, especially since we're planning on getting some weather. So we'll probably just do a really big harvest and then just see some of this stuff, see what it does. And then over here, we're gonna trim back the lemon balm. It's getting pretty big. We just wanna trim it back, and I'll give some of that away. And then lastly over here, we have one little eggplant that seems to still be doing well, but no, we're gonna just go ahead and harvest it, pull that out. And then we have some cabbage here that I've been growing for my mother-in-law that we're gonna go ahead and harvest today. But a lot of the greens are still doing well. The herbs are still doing well. It's pretty mild weather, cool but crisp, so the plants seem to be doing well. So let's see how that goes.